Well, I thought I remembered you saying that you wanted to express yourself.
I do want to express myself. Okay? All right? And this is me expressing myself. Okay? There it is.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. Never a dull moment on the internet. We needed an extra dash of spice for the conservative drama cauldron, and here we go. Daily Wire CEO Jeremy Boring is gone, ladies and gentlemen. He has stepped away as CEO of the Daily Wire in a shock move. Here he is saying a new chapter here, posting his own news. He's stepping down as the longtime CEO of the Daily Wire, a position that he's held for more than a decade. Boring told staff that he's looking to focus on other creative projects instead. This is the article in Axios, and we'll read through this article, and then we'll get to some spicy reactions from Brett Cooper and Candace Owens. Let's go. Daily Wire CEO Jeremy Boring to step down. Jeremy Boring, co-founder of the Daily Wire, is stepping down from his role as co-CEO and focus on creative projects, he told Axios. Boring has been with the Daily Wire since its inception in 2015. He helped grow the outlet from a teeny news startup to a big media giant. Caleb Robinson, the company's founding CEO, will become the company's full-time CEO. Robinson co-founded the company alongside Boring and the outlet's editor emeritus, Ben Shapiro. Boring said that he will remain at the company in an advisory role that will continue to host Daily Wire Backstage. He'll focus on full-time creative projects, including the Pendragon cycle. Serves as executive producer for that. Boring has led the Daily Wire's commercial expansion over the past decade, growing it from a social media publishing brand to a streamer to an e-commerce giant. Robinson and Shapiro, Robinson's the new CEO, plan to continue pursuing growth investment in 2025. And that's it. That's the end for Jeremy Boring. I mean, it seems amicable, right, in this press release, effectively written by Axios, which is what happens when you do stuff like this, right? So Jeremy Boring, somebody who is certainly not without controversy for some of his editorial and executive decisions at the Daily Wire. Not trying to drag anyone here, but I deeply disagree with the whole Christ is King psyop that's been run and funded by the ADL, which is an anti-Christian hate group. Jordan Peterson says Christ is King is hate speech. He also happens to be working with the ADL in order to do so. Well, ladies and gentlemen. I am sick of people complaining about Christians saying Christ is king. Christ has always been king, and there's nothing wrong with saying Christ is king. Stop trying to split hairs. You can't impart morality or motive in people's speech. It's stupid. But nonetheless, there was an op that was coordinated, that was run and vectored upon Daily Wire people to say Christ is king is hate speech, effectively. I very much disagree with that. This is something that, according to the gossip mill, got Candace Owens fired from the Daily Wire. Candace Owens got fired for saying Christ is king many times, along with, of course, some very edgy reporting. And that was a little too hot for the Daily Wire, and so they sent her away. Candace Owens is doing great, by the way, and is reposting news about Jeremy Boring, along with Brett Cooper. Let's jump on over to that. Brett Cooper responded to this news. She quotes this article from Axios with this meme of Jimmy Fallon turning and looking knowingly at the camera, winking with a sly head tilt, going, "Oh yeah, baby, I did that," or something. I don't know. I guess we won't know because the Daily Wire locks down their talent in these massive NDAs. They put a gag order on Candace Owens. This is something that I found particularly duplicitous, is Candace Owens, who I personally know, and I've met Brett Cooper too, and I know a bunch of people at Daily Wire. And so I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm trying to be an independent arbiter of what I know to be true. And man, the Daily Wire was trying to have publicly a debate between Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens, which I loved, which I thought was great, and I think should have happened because it would have been amazing to see. And I personally think that these kind of debates are wonderful for the movement. I want to see Dan Crenshaw debate Tucker Carlson, for instance. I think that this is such an important moment to sort of like shed the bad ideas and to give new energy to the good ideas. While they were publicly engaging in a debate with Candace Owens, they were actively asking a judge to put a gag order on Candace Owens. So that seems like, at the very least, someone's, they're deceiving us and lying. Anyway, Candace Owens certainly didn't like it. Candace Owens reposted this from Brett Cooper to her nearly 7 million followers on X. So the two of them, obviously Brett Cooper and Candace Owens, are very close. They are comrades in arms, as you would say, because the rumors are that both of them were fired because of Jeremy Boring. Candace, because of the Crisis King controversy. That was about a year old. And Brett Cooper, because of contract negotiation problems, right? We screenshotted it just in case, I don't know, people unretweet things all the time. Apparently, according to Ian Carroll, there's way more to this story. And yes, we're about to drop a deep dive on it. Stay tuned. Oh boy. Okay. Well, I guess we will stay tuned, because these kind of things are quite interesting. The reason why is because, again, it's a small world. And we like Candace a lot, and we like Brett a lot. We've had, like, for instance, Matt Walsh and Michael Knowles on the show, all right? So, like, again, no hate. But this is a small industry, and you got to be upright, and you got to be upstanding when it comes to moral clarity on what you're doing and how you're treating creatives. And as a creative and somebody who's very happily independent, all right? I'm very glad I don't have to be dragged into this drama and the stuff. Man, I've been part of corporate media before. I came up in corporate media. I'm so glad I don't have to do that anymore. It is so liberating to just like run my own little humble company here and be done with this stuff. But what happens to these creators? What happens to, like, Crowder, right? Was in big talks, and there was a blow up with the Daily Wire. Tim Pool was in talks with the Daily Wire. It's really public. Candace, Brett Cooper, these kind of things have downstream effects on all of us, and it taints and flavors certain things, and it pushes the energy in certain directions. And so I find it very interesting. Brett Cooper, the rumor mills are that Brett Cooper was forced out by Jeremy Boring and was pretty disastrously replaced in her very popular show called The Comment Section. Now, I can say disastrously, not because I have anything against what's her name? Reagan Conrad. I'm not trying to be a hater. Again, I never met Reagan Conrad. I don't know Reagan Conrad. If I saw her at Trader Joe's, I wouldn't know her, okay? I have nothing against Reagan Conrad, who took over for Brett Cooper after, I think, working for her, being in her wedding. Brett Cooper unfollowed Reagan on all social media, along with Jeremy Boring. What this does is it sort of like deep seeds that there was a massive schism at the Daily Wire, and that it was driven by Jeremy Boring. That is the scuttlebutt. Speaking of butt, ladies and gentlemen, the butt of the joke in all of this is the poor following for the comment section, which has lost, goodness, close to 1 million subs since this this old switcheroo. I mean, that's a million subs lost, or very close to it. Channel that was built by Brett and around Brett continues to lose, let's see, daily average 2,000 subs a day. I mean, that's tough, man. Last 30 days, lost 50,000 subs. This is certainly not what normally happens with a channel, not with a healthy channel at least. Is this in part, and because all this data is public and this information is public, and the fallout with Brett Cooper was very public, is this all part of Jeremy Boring's stepping away? Did the kitchen get too hot? Candace Owens and Brett Cooper? Or is there something else bubbling under the surface? Is there something else? Is there like some type, sometimes and this is just pure speculation here, sometimes in the media industry, if there are legal actions that are being taken, if there are potential scandals that are about to burst forth, it's best to just brush things under the rug and to decouple. If you're in like a position, of a leadership position, than to, let the entire brand go down right with you and to like kind of cling on for dear life. This happens all the time, right? This is the tale is all the time with executives who step away. It's just pure speculation, but I guess we'll see what Ian Carroll says. We've seen now what Brett Cooper and Candace Owens have said. Neither of them have Neither of them have really spoken out about the Daily Wire because I think they're under strict NDA because of the God King, who says Christ is king, is offensive or hate speech, which is weird for a guy who calls himself the God King. Like, if you call yourself the God King, like maybe you shouldn't have if that's literally the name you chose for yourself, maybe you shouldn't go after people for saying Christ is king. But what do I know, right? Just a guy with a YouTube channel. Anyway, that's the news, ladies and gentlemen. Well, here we go. Conservative drama cauldron, piping hot. Keep you updated here. It's your boy Benny. Make sure and subscribe. See ya.